Live. It's the Bison Football Show. Valley News Live and Gate City Bank present the Bison Football Show with head coach Chris Klieman.
Obviously, any offensive line that's experienced, that's hungry, that's on the road, that's out to prove a point, they played better than us.
That was Eastern Washington head coach Aaron Best. That short clip summed it up well. Folks, North Dakota State went on the road and demolished a top 10 team 40-13. The Bison are now 30-2 in true road games since the start of 2011. But this was a physical beatdown of epic proportion in the midst of a lot of adversity. We welcome to the set head coach Chris Klieman. And Coach, let's start by all the adversity you guys went through. We lost a lot of guys in the Mississippi Valley game. Dylan Raduns, Purifoy, Jackson Brown. Then we had some injuries this week. There was a lot for these guys to digest heading into this game, and your staff as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, there really was, but hats off to our players and our coaches for coming together in that short span, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, when we put a lot of things together. And I thought we played as complete of a football game as we've played on the road in a really good environment. And hats off to our fans, because they showed up and they were the loudest crew, that's for sure.
How about the culture of Bison football? You know, when Carson Wentz went down, Easton steps in, goes 8-0. When a big injury happens, and Nick DeLuca was not available, his status is still unknown for the rest of the season. But when something like that happens, it's an opportunity for somebody else, and everybody seems to collectively pick themselves up.
Yeah, that's the brotherhood. That's the Bison pride that all the former players talk about, all the current players talk about, is playing for the guy next to you, playing for the guy that played before you, and that's the culture that we talk about all the time. And the culture won this football game. Yeah. And we played exceptionally well, but those guys in the green and gold were not going to be denied yesterday. Yeah,
the Bison made some great adjustments as we roll the highlights from last year's matchup to this year's matchup. Really contained Gage Gubrud. Hey, the wind picked up and blew the wildfire smoke out of it. That was fantastic. A lot of Bison fans. Coach, the perimeter run early was working.
It really was, and it set up some things in the second half for us to go back inside. But I thought the Rams up front were just phenomenal all day. Great kick here by Cam. A lot of people realize that was 20 to 25-mile-an-hour gusts in different directions. That one was with the wind.
All right, here's Gage Gubrud. He was really good in the dome last year. He was in a rhythm early. This is a nice 3rd and 13 that ends up being a big play.
Yeah, and that's when he's most dangerous, when he steps up in the pocket because he keeps his eyes downfield. Really good play by Jalen Allison, keeping it from a touchdown.
Terrence Grady, number 11 there, broke his collarbone moments later, was not available the rest of the game. Gubrud runs it in here. They get a touchdown at 7-3.
Yeah, we have some adversity. It's 4th down, and we thought we should have been able to make the play, but give Gubrud credit. He does a good job of holding the play fake and getting the score.
The Bison answer, though, and well, there was a lot of points in the first quarter. This is a 3rd and 2. Great job by Easton.
Yeah, really good job by Easton being able to get around that corner and make sure to keep the chains going.
Another edge run out to the outside here, and Lance takes it all the way.
Yeah, really good call by our offensive staff, running the sweep play and bouncing it outside, and good job by Lance, and great jump cut again and make a guy miss.
Gubrud's still in a rhythm here. This is a beauty on 3rd down.
Yeah, but the thing I like is you see a lot of pressure in his face, yeah. and that's a sign of things to come. We were going to get a lot of hits on him.
And here it is right here. Great pressure that stalls their drive.
Here's front 4, and I would call it the front 8 or front 10. We played so many guys up front, and they all played dominant. There's Blake Williams and the Tuska brothers.
So they stall. The Bison now have a 4th and 1 here as we start the second quarter at midfield, and the snaps bobbled a little bit here.
Yeah, we were trying to get him to jump off sides. We thought we had him jumped off sides, and then had a little malfunction. I'll take the blame on that one.
Well, the D turns it right back over to the offense. Great job, though, and here's some more adversity. This is a pop right there.
Yeah, they do a nice job of getting the turnover, and then this was a big stand for us to make sure to hold them to 3 points. I thought the defense came in and did a phenomenal job, and going only down 1 there after 2 turnovers was big.
Yeah, 3 won't beat you every week, but especially against these guys. An edge run here with Bruce Anderson.
Yep, we talked about it. The second quarter, we really needed to control the line of scrimmage and control the clock, and I thought we could wear them down, and Bruce and Lance and Ty were running exceptionally hard.
How about this blocking?
Great blocking, great cut, and then outrun everybody, but there's big holes there, and we're pushing the line of scrimmage the entire day.
16-10 at this point. The Bison are in the lead, and you'll see the quarterback pressure here. Robbie Grimsley's going to get an interception. Watch the pop on Gubrud.
Yeah, great job by Steidel. Gets a great hit on him, and then Robbie goes up and gets it. Good job by Jalen of fending off the receiver, and another big turnover.
Third down coming up here. You need 15. You get 14. They reviewed it, and it made it a fourth down. You decide to punt here. This is an interesting sequence here.
Yeah, but we get the 13 yards to get it to midfield. Now we punt them and really pin them back down there. Now they got to have some choices, but they have the wins. They feel they have to throw, and we make a big interception right before the end of the first half.
And there's just about a minute to go, so you're thinking now get in field goal position, and you did, but it's into the wind, so this is a tough kick.
Yeah, this is the 38-yard field goal into a 20 to 25-mile-an-hour gust, and Cam just smoked it. He drilled it right in the middle.
That's a big kick for Cam right there. Some momentum going into the half, too, to make it a two-score game. It's 19-10. You see the rushing yards just astronomical already, and that is definitely a sign of things to come. 203 to 32. Total yards are 271 to 146, and Eastern Washington ended with 204 to foreshadow a little bit for the second half here. On the Gate City Bank hot seat this week, quarterback Easton Stick. Easton, what is the most enjoyable thing you did this past summer?
I think just being at the lakes, hanging with friends, and doing things like that.
All right, you're from Omaha. It's a big town. Tell me something cool about it.
Yeah, well, we got the best zoo in the country. You can Google it. That's a fact. So
that's a good one. Hey, do you like to text or talk more?
I think it kind of depends on what it is. If it's with my family, for sure talking.
We got a question from the fans. If you had to give up movies or video games, what would you choose?
Video games for sure. Not very good.
I agree. If you were given $10 million today, what would you buy first?
That's tough. Probably a house somewhere warm for my whole family to use.
Good choice. What makes a great leader?
Caring about other people and using that to influence.
What do you like about the new locker room?
Oh, I mean, all of it's great. But I think the stuff that shows our tradition and things like that from years past is really cool.
Yeah, the branding's great.
Yeah.
What does the tradition of Bison football mean to you?
That means playing for the guy next to you.
All right, thanks, Easton. Well, Coach, getting the 3 before half was really big, so you're up, more than one possession. What was the talk like in the locker room?
Well, we had to weather the storm early in the third quarter because they were going to come out. I assumed they were going to take the wind, and that was going to be critical for us to be able to weather that storm. And then if we could do that, I thought we could wear them down running the football, and we had to continue to put pressure on the passer.
Well, let's roll the highlights here in the second half. The Bison had the ball, had a 3 and out, and Eastern Washington was on the move right away. Antoine Custer, a nice young little running back they have, busts one for 20.
Yeah, they do a good job. They have these RPOs that make it tough on you, and the kid makes a nice run, but we, once again, make them kick field goals. You're not going to get beat. That's
right. They did have a little momentum here. It's 19-13. This is one of the biggest plays of the game, in my opinion. It's a 3rd and 11. They have momentum, 19-13. If you punt it right back to them here, that feeds their momentum, but this is a big play.
Yeah, especially kicking it into the wind if we would have to. Great job. Great to have Jeff Elias back. Wow, was it a lift for our offense to get Jeff back.
And not only that, you took the momentum right back because you drive this out and finish with the touchdown.
Drive it out into the wind and take a lot of that clock out and get a touchdown.
How about Dan Marlette? No Nick DeLuca. This is one of the guys that really stepped up.
Yeah, and Dan can really run. Does a great job sideline to sideline. I was glad to see him have some success and play that much.
3rd down efficiency by the offense in the second half was unbelievable. Great job in the middle of the field here by Easton.
Yeah, I thought Easton had a dynamite football game. Great second half. Really felt comfortable. Picked them apart. I thought our receivers and tight ends made big catches for him.
Here's Nate Jensen, a career day.
Yeah, great job by Nate. Nate really came into his own. I'm hoping that gives him a ton of confidence. I know Easton has a lot of confidence in Nate. It's a big body across the middle that goes up and gets the football.
And that was a 3rd and 6 play, and he got 7. So the 4th quarter goes, and this is a great read by Easton.
Yeah, we've been running the play and handing it to the back so much, and then they chased it down, and Easton was able to pull it for an easy touchdown.
Well, Cooper Kupp and Kendrick Bourne were great receivers. They don't have those guys anymore, and they had some drops. This is a 4th and 5 play right here. They're kind of up against it right now.
Exactly, and they have to take some chances because they were still into the wind.
2 plays later, Eastern Washington, you could just tell their body language was starting to wear down. It's 33-13, and Lance Dunn takes it into the end zone.
Yeah, and you can see our offensive line pushing those guys 5-6 yards back, and a great job all day long by the boys up front.
Well, Eastern Washington does not get a 1st down. Bison start again, an epic drive. So the offense has it right back here, and you just pound them on this drive.
No question. This is Bison pride. This is Bison football. Take it for at least 13 minutes and just run out the clock. And just pound it run after run.
Boom.
Yeah, what a great run by Bruce. Physical run, physical play up front, and just keep the chains moving, and you can tell they're really wearing down. Good job. Really, I thought Ty Brooks played really well again. Yep. Gives us another dimension there.
Sealed up a wall by the offensive line right there, and here it is at 17 plays. Here's Adam Cofield. Good to see him starting to get healthy.
Yeah, that's key, being able to get Adam healthy, because he's a physical, punishing runner like the other guys are, and he just needs experience and reps, and now that he's healthy, we're hoping to be able to get him those.
17 plays, 81 yards, 11 minutes and 50 seconds. It ran the clock out, basically ended the game. That is unbelievable. And we look at some of the numbers here. They just had 58 yards in the second half. They only ran 54 plays in the entire game. 24 of those were in the first quarter. They only ran 19 plays in the second half. Dominant performance by the Bison, 40-13. Let's hear what the players had to say after the game.
It's just a blessing just to be able to be out here with these guys. Just coming out here with the O-line, they played a hell of a game, and it's just, I can't do it without them. I give all credit to the O-line.
It's just nice, especially coming after last year. The performance we gave out there as a defense. We really wanted to come out and make some plays this year, and the first drive we were a little hectic, kind of scrambling to get lined up, and I think we settled down a little bit once the second quarter rolled around, and I think we were able to make some plays, and that was the end of that.
It was exciting end of the game. Put up, you hold them to 13 points like that. It's remarkable.
I felt like second half we came out pretty strong. We made sure that we were going to keep the foot on the pedal and make sure they're not going to have any chance to be in the game. And then, as you can see, we took off on them in third and fourth quarter.
Glad to put that showing out there for the rest of everyone else to see, obviously, but we take it one game at a time, and right now we're looking at Robert Morris, and whatever other teams are looking at us, that's cool, but right now we're moving on to Robert Morris.
Well, in big games like this, we like to hear the perspective of the opponent, and Aaron Best, the new head coach at Eastern Washington, had some very interesting comments about the Bison.
They did win the battle, and that's what they do. They're accustomed to winning. At times we stymied them. We got in, I haven't looked at the stat sheet, but they had to have been at least 3 or 4 third and 10 pluses and let them off the hook. So they got in a situation where they're abnormally in third and 8 plus, and they got off the hook, moved the sticks, and then got back into their normal routine of ground and pound. And so they're semifinalists for a reason last year. They're 5-time national champions, so they're no slouch. So again, we want to compare ourselves to those guys, but we're a long ways away at this point.
Interesting comments by Aaron Best there. Well, it's our Nodak Insurance player of the game, and this one is on the Rams. A dominant performance by the offensive line, and it was led by senior Austin Coonert, who had his way physically and verbally with that Eastern Washington defensive front. Coonert was banged up on a play early, didn't even require attention, though arguably the toughest kid on this team. He's the quarterback of that front five. Simply put, Coonert is a dominant force for the Bison.
I just thought we just need to be physical. So and I pride my work on just being one of the most physical guys out there, and if not the most. So I just try to wear them out right away. Yeah, that third quarter, it really seemed to click as an offensive line. We just knew that if we were going to win this game, we had to wear them out up front, and then we accomplished that goal right away. And starting the second half.
Coach, he's off to a great start. Austin Coonert, he's a senior, he's a veteran. I saw him walk off. He was holding his arm, didn't even require attention. I kind of chuckled because, this kid is tough.
He is one of the toughest kids. He's a warrior, and he leads that crew, and we put it on the Rams. We're going to wear you guys down, or we're going to wear them out, and they did it, and they love that. It became an inside run period. Yeah. You could have taken the wideouts out. It became an inside run period for a while, and that's fun to see because our guys get really excited about 8- and 10-yard runs, and those 5-yard runs became 10-yard runs, become 20-yard runs, and that's fun to watch.
That J.T. Tuuli, their nose tackle, wanted no part of Austin Coonert by the end of that ball game. I can promise you that. Well, the linebackers, no Nick DeLuca. Let's take a look at the guys that played, and here they are. It's a rotation of guys. And they all stepped up. I thought Levi Jordheim and Dan Marlette got probably more reps than they're used to, and they really delivered.
They really did, and that we have much better depth at linebacker, and excited for all those guys. They're interchangeable. Chris played some inside. Matt played inside and outside. Dan played inside and outside. Jabril was one of our best special teams guys yesterday. So that depth is going to serve us so well going down the stretch in the Valley. And
all of those guys get along. I talked to Dan after the game on the radio, and he said they're one of the most tight-knit groups on the team. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. They They do a great job. Coach Ince does a great job with those guys. It's a lot of veteran guys there. You know, Jabril's the only really young kid. Everybody else has been in the program either 3, 4, or 5 years, and so they are really close.
You know, and they mentioned after the game that Nick DeLuca did a great job with them, helping them on the sidelines over there, kind of a coach over there without shoulder pads on, if you will. There's a formation offensively that we want to take a look at. It's one that the Bison have run a lot, but this year you got Ty Brooks, you got Lance Dunn, you got Bruce Anderson. You can do so much out of this formation, especially with these 3 guys and their skill set.
Yeah, it's a way for us to get all 3 guys on the field at one time. It really simplifies a defense. You can only do so many things. There's only so many pressures and so many blitzes. Plus, we do it out of an unbalanced set, which is kind of unique as well. It's something that we have done for a while here. We're just continuing to try to evolve and find some more plays and things to do. But it's really difficult because you have so much misdirection, so many moving parts that it's hard for a defense to keep track of everybody.
Yeah, even on that play, the quarterback's the one that kept it with all those running backs out there. It's fun to watch that play. As we look at the scores, we're getting to that point of the year where you start to look at non-conference scores, and this is they made a big deal about the Valley versus the Big Sky this year. And this past weekend, week 2 they call it, 4-1 for the Valley. You look at Northern Iowa and Cal Poly, that was a battle. Missouri State was the only one to take a loss, but Northern Iowa and Cal Poly was a battle. And as we scroll through these scores here, what are your thoughts?
Well, the big one I saw was Western Illinois' a good football team, and Coach Fisher does a great job. Yeah. And they go to Northern Arizona with an explosive offense, and really that game was in hand the whole way. So I know they're an exceptional football team. South Dakota obviously is a really good football team, beating Bowling Green. Yeah. Everybody in the Valley is going to be really good and competitive, and so it's going to be a fun 8 weeks when we ever get to that point.
You know, interesting, South Dakota State, Montana State was a great game. Montana State rallied from down early. That powerful South Dakota State offense, Montana State did hang around there. So it shows that there's some good teams out there, and South Dakota State had their hands full.
Yeah, they did. And all those wins in the Valley are good for us. And when it comes to hopefully playoff selection time, when you have those 7-4, 6-5, whatever you want to call it, teams, that we're able to get more teams in away from the CAA, away from the Big Sky, or wherever it may be. And so all those wins are big for us right now.
All right, well, as we move along here, Courtney Messingham's the new offensive coordinator who came from Montana State. By the way, he's fit in so well. We're going to learn a little bit more about him, get to know him a little bit. Stay with us. Welcome back. 2 games in, the Bison offense looks very comfortable under new offensive coordinator Courtney Messingham. He's already put his stamp on the team so far, mostly from a preparation and demeanor standpoint. It has been a great start to the Courtney Messingham era. Alex Egan has the story in our Olaf Anderson Construction feature story.
In his first game as the offensive coordinator, Courtney Messingham led the Bison to uncharted territory as a Division I team. But like the person Messingham is, he was quick to give all the credit to his players.
From the very, very start, it felt like our offensive line really had a good plan, and then when we got out on the field, they really executed it well.
Perhaps the biggest test any new coach will face heading into his first game in a new position or with a new team is how well he can communicate with his fellow coaches and players.
We've got a coaching staff that's got a wealth of experience and has had a ton of success, but we also have a bunch of players that have played a lot of football. So if it's asking the O-line coach, you know, what are the O-linemen seeing out there? If it's asking the quarterback coach, what's the QB seeing, or even getting on the headset and talking to Easton or you know, any of our players, we do a great job communicating, mostly because we all are on the same page and they've played a lot of football.
Connor Riley, who has taken the role of run game coordinator under Messingham, says communication has always been good. With Messingham in the booth now, it's a little different.
If you know our previous offensive coordinator, who's a great friend of mine, we had great communication on the sidelines, so maybe it's a little bit more calm this past Saturday. No, I think we were able to get the things communicated from the field up to the box and from the box down to the field.
Messingham's calm demeanor isn't by mistake. In fact, he tells us he is good with letting his players and assistants handle the expectations in their own way.
They're fiery. They're wound up. They're ready to get after it. I feel sometimes I need to, but most of the time for me it's more, hey, making sure that we all understand what we're trying to get done and what our role is.
Messingham's influence isn't just seen on game day, but in the days leading up to game day.
We as an offensive staff probably appreciate Courtney more than anything because of the adjustments that he's made to kind of some of the things that we've historically done in our preparations. The things he's really brought to the offense have been very beneficial, and I think you're going to see some of those this week, or you saw some of those this previous week.
For the Bison Football Show, I'm Alex Egan.
Coach, a lot has been talked about with Courtney coming over, but his experience, I mean, he's been around. How much does his experience, Connor kind of talked a little bit about it right there, but what he brings to the preparation, different ideas, some of the things he brings to the table, how has that helped?
Well, it's helped tremendously, and it's no different than having a player. It's all about fit, and I knew Courtney would be an unbelievable fit with the current offensive staff that we have, and it's fortunate in this profession when you can hire not only one of your best friends in the profession, but one of your best friends in life, and be on the same page. You know, Courtney and I are on the same page. We have a lot of similar beliefs, people first, and how you treat people is really important. And so I've been really pleased sitting in on the offensive meetings, you know, great conversations, talking a lot of football, and you can see in the first 2 weeks that our guys have great communication and we're clicking. No question. Well, in this week's Peterson Farm Seed Future Crop of Bison, we look at Josh Hayes, who is one of the 2 true freshmen playing so far. Hayes has played a mixture of corner and plenty of special teams in 2 games. Hayes is an electric athlete who is a winner. He played at Lake Gibson High School in Lakeland, Florida. They went 13-1, were Class 6A runner-ups in talent-rich Florida. Hayes is pushing 6 feet, so he provides some nice length at corner. A humble kid who is constantly trying to earn his spot.
Well, what they told me they liked about me during fall camp is that I continued to improve. And like every day, I got better at something. And that was my goal, just to continue to get better every day, because that's what fall camp's for. And then what they expect out of me is just to get better every day. I mean, that's really all that's all anyone can really ask for.
Tell us about Josh a little bit.
Yeah, great speed, great athleticism. The next 2 weeks will be really critical for him with our open week, as well as then preparing for Robert Morris. We're going to need Josh moving into Valley play, and so you're right. His weekly and daily grind of getting better is going to be very important, and he's somebody that really is willing to learn. Wonderful athlete and understands the game of football.
Robert Morris is up next. We'll take a look at that game. Stay with us. Robert Morris is up next, September 23rd, 2:30, NBC, Bison Radio Network, ESPN3. We'll have you all fired up. The Bison are 2-0. Enjoy it, everybody. We'll see you next time.